For those of you who knows that I'm taking Jeff's sales training class, and one of the things he's talking about is really spin selling. So I'm reading this spin selling field book that we bought. It's more like a homeworks, and hopefully you can learn something. Today we're doing a chapter 3. Check it out. Good morning. Um, can I ask you a few questions? Yes. Hello, Mr. Bonnie. Can I sell you something today? Questions. Who called this meeting anyway? Which one? Which comes first, the situation or the problem? Let me tell you. So this is pretty important, I think. If you think you already knew Spain model, you are not sure, or you have read Spain selling but haven't tried Spain in the field yet, or you have been trained in Spain but haven't been through a material for a while, then this chapter is for you. The question and answer in this chapter will help you decide how to defocus your efforts as you use the rest of this fieldbook to refresh developments and hone your selling knowledge and skills. So don't worry if you find any of those questions difficult. Use the use the results to point you towards the next steps in this book. As you walk through each chapter, you will add to and build on what you already know. And after you practice applying the concept and methods to sample situations and to your own case, the last exercise in each chapter gives you another chance to check your learning. Each set of questions in this chapter is followed by the corresponding set of answers. Okay, check yourself. Part 1. The following questions ask about selling in general. You will, you will find more information on those chapters in 4, 6, 7 to 9. Okay, the first set of questions, true and fourth. If you want to persuade, it is better to give information than to seek it. What do you think? Let me guess. If you want to persuade somebody, you want to give enough information, then ask. I think that's true. Well, I got this book here, so I can see the answer. Let me see. Chapter 2, chapter 3. Okay, so the answer is no. That's not right. So note on your life. Few of us persuade by listening to the opinions of the others. Research shows that giving your ideas, arguments, or opinions have a low impact on other people and rarely success. It is hard to talk someone into accepting your opinion, especially if the decision is a big one. It's much more effective to ask questions that let people talk themselves into acceptance. Remember, questions are the secret of sales successfully. Study shows that high-performing sales people ask more questions. If you don't ask questions, it won't sell effectively. This book will help you build your seeking skills. All right, I did it around. Okay. So number 2, most people give more than they seek when they try to persuade. True and fourth. I think it's true. All right, let's answer this first one answer. There you go. Oh, I revealed the answer. No, oh no. Okay, so true. It is sad but true. Good ideas, opinions, and arguments in the most common way people try to persuade each other. Giving is so much easier than seeking. So we get into the habit of persuading that way. Unfortunately, it doesn't work well. If you build a selling style based on the seeking, you can be much more effective. Okay? That's question number 2. I got 2 wrong. Question number 3. Investigating a buyer's needs is an important part of the most sales call. Investigating a buyer's needs is a important part of the most sales call. Is that true or false? I would say that's true, because you might want to understand what the seller needs. in order to sell them something, right? What the buyers needs in order to sell them something. I think that's true. Let's say, um, I think that's true. I don't know how to do it. All right, number 4. The key reason for asking questions in a sales call is to uncover and develop buyers' needs. True and fourth. The key reason for asking questions in a sales call is to uncover and develop buyers' needs. That's true. You want to know what they need in order to do that. You want to ask a lot of questions. So you want to uncover the motivation and to see what they want. I think that's true. So true, true. Implied needs are statements of wants or desires by the prospective buyers. That's correct. Man, I feel like I fall in a trap. Why everything sounds so correct? All right, let's go to the answer. Oh no, I got a fifth round. Okay, so the third one, it is a very important part. More sales are lost by doing a poor job in this stage of the sales than for any other single reason. Handling the investigating stage well is the biggest difference between successful and unsuccessful sellers. You want to learn that in the chapter 4. And for the purpose of the investigating stage of a sales is to uncover and develop buyer needs. Your client or customer becomes ready to buy by making those needs clear and strong, and you develop buyers' needs by asking your questions. So to find out how to buy how buyer needs develop, read chapter 6 and 10. So stay tuned. I'm going to read all those with you all and trying to do things together. Okay, number 5, I got it wrong. Okay, a buyer's needs. A buyer's needs don't start in the form of want or desire. Implied needs are a buyer's statement about a problem, difficulty, or dissatisfaction with their existing situation. The purpose of the investigating stage is to ask questions that reveal implied needs and then develop them into the statements of clear, strong wants and desires. In other words, into explicit needs. So I think that's really right. The purpose of the investigating stage is to asking questions to reveal implied needs and then develop them into a statement of clear, strong wants and desires. That's great. I love it. So if you look at these pictures, and let me tell you another thing. No, I don't want it. Is each of the following implied needs or explicit needs? Implied needs means statement of customer's problem, and explicit needs is a statement of customer's wants and desire or desire. So let's read this together. 6. My present state system is too slow. Is that implied needs or explicit needs? I think this is too slow. It's an implied needs. It's a statement of customer's problem. My system is too slow. That's implied needs. Looking for a machine with reduction and enlargement capacity. So it's what they want and desire. That's explicit needs. Filling space is a problem in an office. Yes, that's a problem. That's an implied needs. So implied needs, explicit needs, and implied needs. Let's see. Implied needs, explicit needs, and implied needs. So how many did you get? Do you get it right? The first part tested me. I think I got 4 out of 8, meaning 50%, which is not too bad, I would say. All right. Oh, check yourself part 2. All right, you guys ready? Now try some other questions. More information on those topics can be found in chapter 4, 7, and 8. This is the book, okay? If you want this book, I'm going to leave a link down below. When opening a call, it is important to describe the full details of your product so that the buyer knows exactly what you have got to offer. Is that true or false? When opening a call, it is important to describe the full details of your products so that the buyers knows exactly what you have got to offer. I think that's false. The reason why is that you don't want to share with them all the features. You want to sell them the things they need the most. Okay, other things may just add in a bonus. So the first one is false. Second, the sign that you have opened a call correctly is that the buyer knows who you are, knows why you are there, and agrees that you should ask questions. Absolutely, that's great. I mean, if this is more like upfront contract, they know who am I and why I'm there and what I'm going to talk about, and they have given me the permission to do so. I love it. The third question is, after you have opened a call, you should immediately ask problem questions to uncover the needs. It's true. No. Um, no, I don't think that's true. That's false. So it's because it's too quick, too soon. You probably want to build some sort of rapport first before you really go into there. That's just my 2 cents. Okay. And number four, the more situation questions you ask, the more likely the customer or client will be to buy. No, that's not right. I mean, situation question does not really uncover the motivations, the needs. The more problem questions you ask, the better it's probably gonna be. So you choose true, false. Choose false. I think that's right. Let me see. Oh, hold on. Yeah, false, true, false, true, false. Okay, the first one. A lot of people do this. What was that? When opening a call, it's important to describe the full details of your product so that the buyer knows exactly what you have to offer, which is not right. A lot of people do this, but it won't help you to get a business. Why shouldn't you talk about your product or service at the start of the call? Because, first, giving is less powerful than seeking. Telling the buyer about your product or services is a weak way to influence. Second, describing your product or services is the same as offering a solution too early, a common mistake that can negatively impact a larger sale. Okay. Third, since you don't yet know what the buyer needs, your solution may be inappropriate. That's correct. Fourth, describing your product or service too early often leads buyers to ask you questions, especially about price, creating unnecessary objections. Just try to set the scene in your opening so that you can ask the questions. I need to highlight this. This is good. The second question is, the sign that you have opened a call correctly is that the buyer knows who you are, knows why you are there, and agrees that you should be asking questions. That's correct. Opening needs to ensure every opening needs to ensure that the buyer knows who you are, knows why you are there, and agree to let you ask questions. Of course, if you already knew the buyer, if I already know the buyer, this may occur automatically. But with the new prospects, you will need to introduce yourself, explain why you are there, and get their okay to begin asking the spam questions, which is we call this upfront contract, which is very important. That's right. And the third one is false. It will be very risky to ask problem questions right after opening the call unless the buyer already opened by describing a problem to you. Right. The question was, should you opening the call with a problem question immediately? Few people are willing to admit the problem, especially to a stranger. Probing too soon for difficulties can cause buyers to deny or cover up problems. It is much better to start by asking a few natural, fact-finding, and situation questions and move on to the problem questions after you understand the buyer's current situation and operations. So you want to get a little bit more background regarding what's the situation before you dip in, start to dig it. That sounds too too much. All right, number four, no way. If asking only situation question got people to buy, how easy selling would it be? Huh, surprising, right? But asking more than a few where focused situation questions makes the call less likely to succeed. In fact, asking problem questions and especially implication questions has much more powerful impact on making those sales. So situation questions target, which is good. If it's not, then maybe not really necessary. All right. So, Mr. Ken, have you had a problem since telephone booths stopped being made? Not at all. Why did you ask? What? He must be an Indian agent or something, right? That's what I'm thinking. Which is a situation question and which is a problem solving question. How many units do you use during an average month? How many units do you use during an average month? This is a situation question. You're asking specific things. Are you satisfied with your current service contract? This is a problem question. It's really asking the opinions, asking if they worry about something. That's it. That's a problem questions. I think that's right. Situation and problem. Problem questions ask about the problems, difficulties, and satisfactions with the existing situation. Asking if the buyer is satisfied is an indirect but effective way to probe for dissatisfaction. Dissatisfactions. Check yourself. All right, part three. Oh man, oh my God, how many check yourself there's here? Part three. Okay. Now the questions gets a little harder. But don't worry if you don't get all those answers. That's why we're reading this book. Meanwhile, you'll find lots of more in chapter 8, and I can't wait to get in those chapters. I'm telling you. Stay tuned. I'm telling you. All right, true or false questions. When the buyer states a problem and it is one you can solve, you should immediately offer your solutions. No, you always want to wait the solution to the end. I think that's no, as a false statement. Second, the purpose of the implication question is to extend or develop a buyer's perception of a consequence and effective of the problems. The purpose of the implication question is to extend and develop a buyer's perception of the consequence and the effective of problems. That's right, because we want to use the implication questions to understand what they really means, what the consequence, what the impact they will have within this current problem. I think that's right. So the first one is wrong. The second one is right. The best time to ask the implication question is early in the call before you uncover a problem. Oh hell no! No. This is not right. The best time to ask the implication question is after you uncover the problems, right? You want to ask those problem questions first, then you want to know the impacts. If you don't really know, how are you going to do it, right? Fourth, most people find it much harder to ask implication questions than to ask the problem questions. Did you find it harder to find the implication questions? I think so. I mean, like, what's the challenge? How do you feel about it? I mean, how much are you losing? Things like that. Yeah, I think that's true. I find it a little bit harder to ask the problem questions, so that's false to me. Let's look at the result. Is the result? Oh, there you go. Answer. False. No, the first question. No. When the buyer states the problem, you should not jump immediately It's tempting, right? When a buyer offers you a nice problem you can solve, to joyfully toss your solution straight into the buyer's home. What's wrong with that? No, I was wrong wanting helping, selling the solutions at the same time. Simply put, it doesn't work. In fact, giving your solution too soon can lose your sales. This is a much common mistake that will warn you about it infrequently. Fundamentally, the impact of a solution depends on the size of the buyer's needs. Successful sellers know that they must develop a buyer's implied needs into a strong, clear, explicit needs before offering the solution, meaning that you want to make sure that you understand clearly about the problems, how severe the problem is, how much impact he has before you offer a solution so that it's going to amplify it, right? I got that right. Great. Second question. Is that true or false? The answer is true. When you're offering solutions, the buyer needs to stop growing, right? The buyer's needs stop growing. So you must first find a way to develop a buyer's perception of the size and the significance of the problem before you start discussing your answers. The best way to do this is to throw out your questions. Implication questions are the most effective way to help a buyer understand the full consequence and the effective of the problems, right? That's nice. The third one, false. By their very nature, you cannot ask implication questions until a problem has been uncovered. That's right. Ask problem questions help you and the buyer understand what problems, dissatisfactions, and difficulties the buyer has. Implication questions are asked after problem questions so that the buyer becomes more aware that their seriousness and significance of the problems they are facing. The last one, which is true, is what's that? Most people find it's much easier to ask implication questions than to ask the problem question. That's correct. Why? Unfortunately, implication questions are much easier to ask than the situation or problem questions. They require planning and business knowledge so that you can understand why certain problems would be important and what factors might cause them to be more significant than the buyer might realize. You also need to know what kinds of problems your products or service can solve so you can focus on developing those implied needs, which is nice. All right, we got four more problem or implication questions choices. Okay. Good morning, Miss Rice. Mr. Rice, what are the implications of your problems today? Oh, good grief. That's too soon, man. Distinguish problem and implication questions, okay? Which one it is? How hard it is it how hard is it to change the cartridges in your machine? That's an implication question. Once do you quantify your pain? No. No. That's a problem question. How hard is it? Is it to change the cartridge? Is it hard or no? We want to know if that's a problem, right? No. How hard it means is asking you how severe the issue is. I think that's implication question. Has a poor output quality caused their customer complaints? That's a problem question. You want to know if this is a problem. So that's a problem question. Implication problem. If you have got a reliability problem, exactly how much extra is that costing you over a year's time? You want to quantify the issues, and that's implication questions. Are you satisfied with the range of emotion you are getting from the suing arm? I think that's problem questions. It's more like anything. Anytime there's a problem question, it's are you satisfied? Are you like? Do you dislike? What's the challenging difficulties? Problem are you facing? So the first one is a implication problem. implication, and problem. Let's see the result. Oh, problem question. Here, the seller is probing directly for the implied needs. How is that possible? How hard is it to change the cartridge in your machine? Is that a problem? I don't know. It depends on the tonality you're asking. How hard is it? Is this really hard to change it? How hard is it to change it? Oh, come on, guys. It's crazy. And the second is implication. In contrast to question number 5, this question seeks to extend or develop a problem that's already been identified by the buyer. And the 7 is this question develops a problem by asking the buyers to quantify it. Right? And this question simply probes for an area of difficulties. Yeah. So I got this one wrong, this one right. The discussion, what I said. I don't know. I need to go back to the recording. If you have got a real, this is the implication question. Yes, I got it right, and I got that right. So only got this one wrong. Number 5 was wrong. Oh shit. Okay, chapter. Oh, check yourself. Part 4. How many is? Moving right along. Only one part to go after this. Okay, so we got 5 parts in total. This is the second to the last. You'll find more information on the topic in chapter 10, okay? So the purpose of the need payoff questions is to move the buyer's attention away from the problem and focus it on solutions and their value. Need to pay off. That's why it's selling the benefits, right? It's not really moving away from the problems. Yeah, okay, it is. Now we've gone through a problem, we've gone through an implication. Now we want to know how is that going to impact you? How are you going to benefit from this situation if there's a solution there, right? So I think that's right. That's true. All right, I'm that confident. Next, need payoff questions should not be asked until after the buyer's problem have been identified and developed. I think that's really right. I don't think that should not be asked. I mean, you can ask, but it's not as effective as you're asking after you understand the problems, you develop pain, you already quantify the issues, right? So that's the truth in that to that questions. You should never ask need to pay off question after the buyer has no. If they already expressed the needs, they need to do something. How's that going to benefit them if they're able to do it, right? So it's true, false. That's my answer. I'm not sure what your answer is. You can pause it and do your answer. Let's go. Let's see. True, false. Yeah, I got it right. Okay, let's see what's the reason. True. It is not. What's the question again? The purpose of a need payoff question is to move the buyer's attention away from the problems and focus on its solution on their value, which is true. It is not very effective to talk about a solution when the buyer's mind is still on the problem. So you need to shift the buyer's attention. How? By asking questions that get the buyer to start thinking about the value or usefulness of a solution. Need payoff questions do just that. They invite the buyer to switch attention from the problem to situation. Think about how the solution could help. Describe to you the ways your products or services could be of value or used to the buyer. No wonder need payoff questions are the most powerful in selling. They get the buyer to tell you the benefit you can offer, which is really nice. Highlight it. Second, asking need payoff question too early is a very common mistake. There's is dangerous question like wouldn't a faster system be useful? In your kind of operation, wouldn't it pay you to adopt our method? If asked too early in the call, the buyer could say yes, but I feel no real interest or commitment, right? It's also risky to focus on solutions before the buyer has recognized a problem and its significance. asking need payoff question is much more effective after you have explored the buyer's problem and their implication. That's very true. All right, next one. On the contracts, some of the best need payoff questions come after an explicit need has been expressed. Need payoff questions can identify the existence of explicit needs by asking whether the buyer wants or is interested in a solution. That's correct. Clarify the explicit need by asking why and how the need is still important, or by quantifying the value of the solution. That's right again. And extend the value of a solution by discovering other ways the solution might be able to help the buyer. That's right. Oh, you guys saw the answer, but it's okay. How many did you get it right? I think I got it all right. Go, what's this? I would like to be able to What would really help is, see, this two sentence is, this is offering a solution and this is seeking the solution. Distinguish between the implication and need payoff questions. Okay, so ideally you would like a way of speeding up the document creation without increasing your staff. So that's the implication question. Right? You want, you would like a way to speeding up the document creating without increasing. That's the benefit. So that's the benefits. No, that's the need payoff question. Right? Does the difficulty with raw material quantity lead to a higher rejected rate? That is asking the problem more clarification, so it's an implication question to really seeking more clarity and ask the client to clarify if that's a real issue. Okay, so need a payoff, implication. In what way might a low aromatic solvent help you increase your market share? In what way is asking is implication? No, it's a benefits. How is that going to benefit you? So benefit, implication, benefit. So that would help you month-end reconciliations. Are there any other ways you might benefit from the new approach? Benefit, implication, benefit. Let's see. Yeah, need a payoff, implication, benefit. Okay, seek and identify the explanation. The question is a problem-centered and develop the implied needs before moving towards a solution. In contrast with question number 5, this is solution-centered questions. Ask the buyers to clarify the area of payoff. This example shows how need payoff questions can extend the areas of payoff. Okay, guys, this is the last part of this chapter. Check yourself, part 5. Almost there, right? Chapter 11 gives you the whole scoop on demonstrating the capability, and chapter 4 fills you in the obtaining commitment from a buyer. True or false? The more features you can describe to a buyer during a call, the more likely you will be to make the sales. That's false. Benefits are the most powerful way you can describe your solutions to the buyer. Benefits are the most powerful way you can describe your solutions to the buyers. I don't know. I could be right. Yeah, I think that's true. Benefits shows how a product or service can meet the buyer's implied need. That's true. Okay, so the first one, so the second one is not true. It's not the most powerful way. Fourth, objections are a sign that a buyer is interested. So the more objection you get from a buyer, the better. No, if there's too much objections, there's going to be a lot of frictions. A lot of frictions means that they don't really know if you understand their needs. So no, that's false. Asking a lot of implication questions and the lead payoff questions will reduce the number of objections the buyer arises. Right, because you're seeking clarity and seeking clarifications. So that's right. Let's see the answer. Oh, there's one more. There's two more. When this turkey going to make a commitment? Man, when this jerk going to ask for a commitment? Yeah, you should seek and you seek you shall ask. Never take the initiative by asking the buyer for a commitment. Always let the seller sell close itself. That's correct. That is correct. The more you use, no, that's not right. You don't ask, you don't get it. You ask, you ask, you get it. I think that's the six is not right. Seven, the more you use closing techniques during a sale call, the more likely you're going to make the sale. No, the sale should be naturally closed itself. So no, the last two are not right. Let's see the answer. First question, false. The number of features you describe has little impact on the outcome of a sale. In fact, research shows that there are generally more features given in a call that failed than in those that succeed. It is far better to spend time developing buyers' needs with problem implications and need to pay off questions and making benefits to show how much you can meet the explicit needs you have developed. So that's right. Second, benefits are absolutely the most powerful way to describe your products and services. Yes, no, I was wrong then. The key to success is selling. So let's start. Benefits are absolutely the most powerful way to describe your products or services to buyers. The key to success in selling is the ability to uncover implied needs using situation and problem questions, develop them into explicit needs using implication and need payoff questions, then successfully those and then satisfy those explicit needs. That's right. Oh shoot. So I got it backward. Okay. Benefits show how a product or service can meet an explicit need expressed by the buyer. An implied need is only a half-developed need. First, you have to build a seriousness of the problem and the lead so that your buyer expresses a clear, strong desire for a situation. So I got this wrong. So I get the first right, second, third wrong. All right, the fourth. The more objections you get, the worse the chance you are making a sale. Obviously, right? Too much frictions. Objections are barriers between you and the buyer, and the research shows that they are more often caused by poor selling skills. Successful sellers put their emphasis on preventing objections rather than handling objections. Okay. Fifth, by using implication and need payoff questions to develop explicit needs, you can reduce the number of objections you receive and increase your chance of making a sale. The key is to develop strong explicit needs in a buyer before you offer your solution. Right? Chapter 11 explains the difference between benefits which help make a sale and advantage which arise in objections. One more time. So number 5, what's the question? Asking a lot of implication and need payoff question will reduce the number of objections the buyer arises, which is true. Number 6, the overuse of closing techniques can certainly hurt your selling, but the total absence of closing is even more damaging. The sales won't close itself, so you have to take the initiative. Research shows that it's more successful to close once per call after you have effectively developed your buyer's needs. So you need to seek to close the sale. Okay, you need to ask for the sale. Number 7, many experienced sellers think that the frequency of using close techniques improves your sales success. But research shows the opposite. Increase the number of close in a call actually reduce your successful rate. If you haven't developed your buyer's needs, no closing techniques can guarantee you a sale. So again, it's really important to develop the needs to really extrapolate out the implied needs from the seller. Okay, I guess this is the last part of this sections of the chapter 3. See you guys in chapter 4. Peace.